Woman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 8 is here, guys. That's halfway through the regular season, and we have some early surprises, right? Listen to some of these. I'm going to start off this video with just going over some surprises since it's halfway through the season. Remember, it's halfway through the season, so we'll have a finishing list at the end of the year. But here's definitely some notable ones. Jets 5-2, game off the division lead, who the leaders are Buffalo. Giants 6-1, game off the division lead as well on Philly. Obviously, Philly 6-0. The NFC South is led by the Falcons at 3-4. Who had that? Who had the Falcons leading the division at 3-4? That's wild. Seattle also. Who had Seattle leading the NFC West after losing Russell Wilson over the Rams and 49ers at 4-3? Those are probably my biggest surprises so far of teams that are playing better than expected. Here's some teams that I think are underachieving. Here, obviously, Colts at 3-3, and Matt Ryan just not playing well. They obviously put in their backup for this week. I thought this team would be much better with Matt Ryan over Wentz, but it seems like they're not. I think their defense is not playing it as a standard that I thought they will. They're still 3-3, so yes, they could go on a run, but I don't know. How good is his backup going to be, right? I don't know too much about him. We'll have to see this week at home. Broncos at 2-5. And just how bad they look. Watching their games are very difficult. If you like defense, watching their defense is fun to watch. They do have a good defense, but they can barely score 10 to 14 points. Terrible red zone efficiency. It's just very hard to watch this Denver offense. Defense, very good. But 2-5 Broncos starting, definitely didn't see that happening. Packers at 3-4. Yes, I did think they're going to have a little bit of a downgrade, losing Adams, but not this much. No main threat in the wide receiver or tight end. That's where their issue is, right? Their wide receivers, there's no one wide out one. It's Lazard. He's not a wide out one. So they're 3-4. I think Packers still could sneak in. I think their defense is decent, but it has to play better. Their defense hasn't been playing as good as they're supposed to or were supposed to. So Packers I'm a little down on as well. Tampa Bay at 3-5, probably one of the bigger surprises. Banged up, obviously. Tom Brady just not playing. Is his age finally catching up? Is he issues off field with his divorce, etc., catching up? It seems like it is. It definitely seems like it is. And their defense is just not playing to the standard that they're used to. And then Saints 2-5, I guess a bit of a surprise, but maybe a little more lower. I did think they were going to take a step back this year. Crazy first half, right? Thought I'd just go over some of them. I thought they were very interesting. You usually don't see this many surprises early from other weeks. There's usually a team or two that, surprise, but, we got a handful here. So we'll see what comes in the second half. Can't wait to see what comes in the second half. Week 7 update. Week 7 update here. A very up and down week. Just missed out on profit due to the Pats getting upset at home. They got upset at home to the Bears. Just couldn't see that happening. I had Ravens and Dallas had already hit in the teaser. And then Pats at home losing. Hard to see that one coming. Some highlight winners last week. We went 2-0 in the prop market. 2-0 in the prop market there. We had over on a couple wide receiver props. Over Lazard and over Waddle. They got there fairly easily. 71% on the year in the prop market. That's been my best market so far the first half of the season. Hit a nice full unit mix parlay thanks to the Dolphins winning. And we hit our lone total. Didn't have a high volume last week. We hit a lone total as well with the Lions total team under 19.5. That hit easily. They only scored 6 points. A couple bad losses. Chargers loss screwed me over because I had them in a 2-team money line parlay with the Ravens. So that screwed me over. And of course, the Pats teaser loss as well. Update here. All sports. You can check out my UFC video for that. I update all sports there. Best runs right now, UFC 22-4 right now. Ridiculous run. Go watch this week's video if you haven't already. It's already up. NHL, going back to last year, guys, 45-17 run. That's over 71%. Definitely very happy with that. NHL, it's just about picking spots and situation. How I bet NHL is situational betting. That's how I bet NHL. I continue to bet NHL like that, and it continues to do well. NHL, guys, you'll be seeing bets from me all year long for clients, of course. NFL, let's get the NFL update here. 30-18 run right now, profitable in all markets except money line parlays. Two-team money line parlays, mixed money line parlays sometimes. No profit there as yet, but I'm happy with the run. Always could be better, but I'm happy right now where I'm at. Usually get hot during second half of the season. Systemsportscapping.com to become a client today and receive all my personal plays on all sports. Show your support and profit long-term with me while you show the support as well. System Capping, all social media platforms. Most active is Instagram and Twitter. You can find betting information there, winning tickets, client comments, free picks. Give me a follow over there. I think I'm a good one. I'll be looking at 3 big games this week, guys. 3 big games. Monday nighter, like always. Bengals at Browns. Good divisional game there. Packers at Bills, I'll be looking at as well. San Fran at Rams. Remember, guys, these aren't usually client plays. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they make my client card. I just like to speak and talk about the top games of the week so you guys can take some information out of it and maybe handicap or bet them as well. No really big matchups in my opinion. The 2 divisional games, obviously, Bengals, Browns, not going to say it's a huge matchup, but for the division it is. And then obviously San Fran and Rams, that's probably the biggest game of the week, big divisional game. We always see a good one between them. That's the first game I'm going to talk about here. San Fran -1.5 at Rams, 42.5. Like the video, guys, before I get into this. Helps me out a ton. Always a fun game. Always a fun game when these two play. Like I mentioned, both teams underachieving a little bit so far this year. Rams at 3-3, 49ers at 3-4. Beginning of the year, I would say, no, I don't believe you if you told me this. The 49ers injuries have been catching up with them, right? Back-to-back losses, and their strength is their defense, but it's not showing up. It's not playing well. Obviously, they made the big splash with Cinncy, Christian McCaffrey. He had 8 carries last week for 38 yards, couple catches as well. For I think he did good enough for the time. What, he had a couple of days to get used to the system. So a full week with him. We'll see how that works out. Wilson, though, he led the way with 54 rushing yards, only 7 attempts. So that's over, 7.5 yards per carry. So nice day bearer by Wilson. The Rams are coming off a bye. Playing at home, not have to travel off the bye. That's a perfect situation. Perfect situation for them. Extra time to study. No travel concerns. I like that for them. Game 1 between these two. 49ers, due to that defense, just shut them down. Rams only scored 9 points. You can always expect, I would say between these two, fairly competitive. Like most games are fairly close. That game wasn't. 49ers just shut them down with their defense, but I think they were a little more banged up now. We could see something different in that bye week that I mentioned, right? Now with 49ers adding that offense, they're looking like more of an offensive team with adding CMC. Kittle's back. Kittle's been playing well for them as of late. He's healthy. I think he's just hurt all the time, but I think now he's a little more healthy, so he's getting back in the mix there. Bosa obviously back for the team, so that's going to help them a lot. And the issue with the Rams is protecting Stafford. When you don't protect Stafford, that's when this team struggles on offense. If you can protect them, give them some time in the pocket, like a lot of quarterbacks, of course, but especially Stafford, you give him some time to find his weapons and his targets. They usually do well on defense. On offense, and exploiting defenses. So I can see if they can have a good game on that O-line. I think this Rams team can be competitive in this game and hang around with a possible chance to win. Just hard to bet against San Fran if I had to play a side here, just due to San Fran winning 7 matchups in a row in regular season. Fun fact there. That's going to be tough to get to, right? And Stafford, just personally, is hard to back right now. Just hasn't been that good this year. 6 TDs to 8 interceptions. Just won't cut it, right? A passer rating of 84, just below average, just not great. 49ers have great pressuring numbers. That's what kind of scares me when these two play, right? Pressuring the quarterback for on the year is over 30%. That's something to mention here. They can get to the quarterback. San Fran gets to the quarterback, which scares me to think about playing a Rams here on the side, even though I love the situation, off a bye, rested at home. It's a great situation for them to win this game. I just can't get there. You have to count on the O-line playing tremendous, keeping Bosa out of there, giving the time to throw the ball. And they're going to have some sort of run game. Rams haven't found a run game. They have a rookie in there now. Obviously Henderson as well. Akers just been a bust. They got to get the run game going to open up the passing game. Otherwise, this offense just can't get going. If I had to bet a line here, I always like to give some prop thoughts as well. I will do that here shortly, but I would have to lean the over 42.5. It opened up around 41.5. People are betting the over. I get it. San Fran's defensive struggles as of late. Rams coming off that you would think their offense are going to score more than 9 points in this game. And then obviously, San Fran's additions on offense. They're looking more of an explosive offensive team now. A lot of options to throw to, which we'll get to my prop market here. It's a little tougher now. Like, I usually like to back Deebo Samuel over when they play the Rams. Always big games when he plays the Rams. I did it in the first week. He had 115 yards over on receiving. It's a little tougher now with all the weapons, with Christian McCaffrey now. Obviously, Kittle's getting more targets as of late. UK, so it's tough. There's a lot of mouths to feed, but he usually does step up. If you can get Deebo around the 50-yard mark, I like to play the over there. It's usually a good look. And obviously, Cooper Kupp receptions. He had 14 receptions against his team last game. So looking at the Kupp over and receptions is always a good look. If you can get in around the 7 and 8 mark, definitely shop around for that. Tough to get to a side here. I have to lean San Fran. Not going to bet it, though. Favorite bet, though, total 42.5. Over, possibly could make my client card this weekend. Packers versus Bills. Bills minus 10.5, guys. Start of the year, if these two were playing, I wouldn't say it'd be 10.5. Bills at home, 6.5. But Packers struggling. Total 47.5 in this one. This one keeps climbing. I see some 11s out there. But shop around if you do like the Bills to get the best number. Packers just can't get it going on offense. Limited weapons at wide receiver and tight end. Really missing Devontae Adams. No secret about that, which I mentioned at the top of this video. Lazard, their number one, is not a number one. Number two, maybe number three on some good teams. The defense is surprisingly not playing well and struggling early on. The last thing you want, your team is struggling on defense to play this high-powered Bills offense. Second in points per game at just under 30 points, and first on third down conversions. That's a struggle. That's not a struggle. That's something you don't want to hear against struggling defense. You don't want to hear that. Allen's having an MVP-like season, right? 17 TDs, 4 interceptions only, passer rating of over 109. Green Bay's pass defense is underachieving so far, almost a 70% completion percentage. That's not good enough. They're allowing 6 TDs and 2 interceptions. Only bright spot, Jair Alexander's playing well, fun to watch. It's going to be a fun matchup against Diggs. You can't never take Diggs out of the game. I think you can limit him, and I can see a McKenzie and I can see Gabe Davis props going over. So look at those. If you're going to bet the prop market for this game, look at those two guys on the over if you can get a decent price. I think Diggs and Alexander, they'll limit him somewhat. I don't think Diggs are going to have a 140-yard game and 9 catches, even though Diggs is averaging an impressive over 8 per game. Diggs is averaging over 8 catches per game, which is wild. That has to be, one career high. I can't tell you off the top of my head if it is, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be up there. With Rodgers, it's concerning. Last week, under 200 yards passing, 0-6 on third downs against Washington's defense. Not great, right? You gotta start wondering. Is it obviously the early season jitters are out. It's week 8, so the limited weapons and the lack of route runners and top wide receivers is the issue here. I get it. Their run game just really hasn't been getting going either. It hasn't been like previous years because now they know they can focus more on the run game because the wide receivers aren't there. Devontae Adams and the threat's not there, right? So it could be a long season for Rodgers. I did take Packers to win the division. I'm definitely regretting that. Minnesota probably will win that division. That's one of my future market bets that I'm not pleased with. But we could see a run later on with the Packers, but someone's going to have to step up on the wide receiver door. And it's just tough to see, right? This Bills defense allowing under 14 points per game. This is not the week for the Packers to get on track, in my opinion. I think Bills win, probably cruise, 10-point, 14-point victory. I can see here. If you can get maybe Bills teaser market, 10.5. It's tough to me to bet the 10.5. The half is killing me here. It's not a spread that I'll be involved in. I would lean the Bills. I do think the Bills could win by 2 touchdowns. Wouldn't be surprising. Due to that defense mainly, right? Keeping them under 14 points definitely could be a possibility. And just Packers struggling on offense. Total's tough at 47.5. Lean the over. But I won't be betting this game personally from a client card. I'll be looking at the prop market though. So look at the prop market. Davis, McKenzie over in receiving yards if you can get a good price. Monday nighter, Bengals -3, 3.5 versus Browns. Total 45. Life without Chase for 4 to 6 weeks. Was the big news for the Bengals this week. How will the offense look is the big question here when the number one guy is out. Good news is they still have good targets. Right, obviously Boyd and Higgins could be number one guys at other places. Burrow looked incredible last week. 481, 3 TDs, and a ridiculous passer rating of over 138. Probably one of the higher ones this year. Browns pasty, they've been decent. They did allow only 60% completion percentage. But allowed 8 touchdowns. So that's a concern there with the Browns. But 60% completion percentage on the year is pretty good. So it has been decent. Bengals are getting the Browns on 4 straight losses, which can be scary for a Bengals team. You would have to expect a huge effort at home in primetime from the Browns to avoid 5 straight losses. It's a situational bet if you like the Browns here. If you can get Browns at +3.5, you'd have to look that way. But Browns have to do something, and they should know this, right? Fun fact, Chubb, rushing under 20 attempts, 0-5. You have to run Chubb 25 plus. Bengals, not good against the run, 4.6 yards per carry, right? Allowing over 119 rushes yards per game. Run the ball, slow down, keep Burrow off the field. That's the way to win this game, guys. Even run with Brissett. Hunt, I like as a second back. Just run the ball down the throat. Open it up for Cooper a bit. Open up for the pass game. That's the way to win this game. Guys, Browns lost the last 3 games out of the last 4. The last 4 games they lost were between 3 and 2 points, 3 points. So they're keeping it close. They're not getting blown out. Only that New England game was terrible for them. But if you can get Browns at +3.5, I think that's a look. Browns have a shot to win this game outright as well. This would be a situational bet. You're backing a team at home who have had opportunities to win games, haven't been able to close it out. They had some injuries during those losses as well. I think they're fairly healthier now. And if they listen to me and run Chubb 25 plus, I think they can win this game outright. Bengals without Chase is an issue. They're still good on offense, don't get me wrong, but how is life going to be without him? You're not going to have to worry about him. You're not going to have to maybe double him in some packages on defense. So there's some value at the Browns at +3.5. I'm probably going to send that out to my clients today, to be honest. +3.5 Browns. Option in the teaser market as well, which I'll discuss here shortly. Total, no play on it. 45 is that tough line, right? They don't know what to do with it. They put it at 45. Teaser market. Teaser market. We had a few hits last week, Dallas and Ravens. Hopefully you tailed that and didn't tail the Pats. I think I gave out Pats as well. I'm not too sure, but I know I gave out Ravens and Dallas. Pats missed because they got upset at home. This week, 7-point teaser option. Got to go right back to Dallas at home. -2.5. Going to attack Bears again. Bears winning back-to-back road games against good teams on the road on a short week. If it happens again, hey, well, what can I say? But that's a good spot. Dallas 2.5 at home to win by a field goal. I like it. They should struggle against that Dallas defense. I don't see the Bears on a short week just getting back-to-back wins. Just don't see that happening. Jets +9.5 at home versus the Pats. Good look. Pats don't know who's at QB right now. They didn't look good last week. Jets playing well, right? So them +9.5 at home is a look as well in the teaser market. And Browns at +10.5 as well. Big divisional game. Everything I mentioned above. I think they hang around in that game. Underdogs. Gave you guys Giants last week. That hit. Another underdog winner for you guys. Hopefully you guys tailed that. That was my number one underdog as an official underdog play here. Here, guys, there's two. One I just mentioned, Browns. Call me crazy, but I don't like this Browns team. I just like the spot. So it'd have to be Browns here, a Monday nighter. It could go terribly wrong. I get it, but I do think Browns could pull away. And then obviously the Jets at home. How can you bet? This Jets at home continues to prove us wrong. Could we see a bounce back from the Pats? We could. But I like the Cleveland a little more. But Cleveland, and then the second option probably here would be the Jets. That will do it, guys. That will do it, NFL Week 8. Give it a thumbs up. Helps me out a ton. Check out the UFC video as well. We're rolling the most in the UFC. UFC is the best market for us right now, along with the PGA and NFL, of course. That will do it, guys. Like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.